Okay.
Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is May 14th, 2022, and Bitcoin's next move may be an explosive 40% pump to the upside. That sounds very specific, I understand, but let me tell you why this is likely. If that sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. We're getting started on the 4-hourly chart, okay? And in the past 48 hours, Bitcoin has put in approximately 21 or 22%, a 22% move to the upside, followed by a 7.5% move to the downside, okay? Now, I can anticipate, judging by our Fibonacci retracement, that this move to the downside may not yet be finished. It wouldn't surprise me to see Bitcoin come down to between the 0.5 and the 618 Fibonacci retracement level, which represents the golden pocket, okay? I think at least a retracement of this much, and I'm going to tell you why in a second, or even to the 786, meaning a $26,500 Bitcoin once again. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that it's a great buying opportunity, not financial advice. Fear is very, very high in the markets, right? We're at single digit fear. I think it's a 9 today, okay? So always a great time to buy when fear is high, okay? You want to buy the fear and sell the greed, right? You want to buy support, sell resistance. I do still believe that 25.5 was the bottom. This is a pump and retracement, okay? And now to get a little more technical, according to Elliott wave theory, we can say that this represents an initial break of structure of the downtrend, right? And I'm going to label these correctly. So this represents an initial break of structure, and it's not an impulsive move, okay? I would say this is an A wave. And one of the reasons why I don't think this is an impulsive move or even part of an impulsive move, part of a 5-wave impulse, is because thus far, if you take your Fibonacci extension, you'll see that here. Let's dive down into the hourly time frame to see a little more detail. So if you take the Fibonacci extension of this pump right here and this retracement, you'll see that we only extended to around the 1, 2, 3, 6, and typically corrective waves do extend to between the 1 and the 1, 2, 3, 6, right? Impulsive waves, in my experience, extend to at least the 2, 2, 3, 6, okay? So I don't think that this was an impulsive wave or part of an impulsive wave, because this retracement has already come down quite a substantial amount. And so I don't think that this is part of an impulse. This is part of a 2-wave correction. It could be, but I just don't see it, okay? Now, why do I say that we can come down to between, let's get our Fibonacci retracement tool out once again. Why do I say that we can come down to between 28.1 and 27.5 or even 26.5? I'm simply using the Fibonacci retracement of a B wave, okay? A B wave is a counter to an A wave. So if this wasn't impulsive and this is corrective, then we know that any corrective wave has a counter corrective wave, okay? So this initial break of structure A wave needs a counter B wave, and the counter B wave usually retraces to a minimum of the 0.5, okay, and a maximum of the 1618. I don't anticipate us coming down to 22,000, but just so you understand, I would not be surprised if we hit 28,000 once again and made this into some sort of flat correction, okay? Well, actually, to make it into a flat correction, I think we have to come down to the 786, so maybe 26.5, okay? Now, that is not that extreme of a move, okay? Because to the downside, that only represents a further drop of about 7%, okay? But once this is completed, okay, and once whatever this B wave chooses to be is printed in, the next move to the upside is going to be impulsive, okay? And so I anticipate 5 waves up to our principal or our next major, not major, our next significant resistance of 41K, which is, well, from here, from where we are now, it's 40%, but from the 786 of this A wave, or this reported A wave, is about 54%. So if Bitcoin is putting in a 54% move, just imagine what your favorite altcoin is doing, okay? And speaking of altcoins, actually, before we leave Bitcoin, let's do one more thing. Looking at our 1 hour stochastic RSI, it looks like there is some bullish divergence here. That doesn't necessarily mean that this B wave is done, all right? As we know, B waves can be composed, so this can go for quite some time, yeah? But we're making lower lows, right, clearly, in price. And here, we're basically even. So this is quite strong bullish divergence on the hourly time frame. So I'm expecting a move up. And if we are getting a move up, I don't necessarily anticipate this to be the move up, just because the retracement for me isn't sufficient. I do anticipate a further retracement to at least the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, as I said. But just jumping into the 4 hourly, yeah, see, it looks like we still have a little more downside. However, one could also say that the 4 hourly is showing some good potential bullish divergence. We don't have confirmation yet because we don't have a bullish cross here, but we're pretty much holding this level in the stochastic RSI. So maybe coming down a little more, momentum coming down a little more to this trend line on this stochastic RSI. What's really good for the bulls, what's really good for people anticipating further positive price action, is that the whole time we've been correcting to the downside, volume has been decreasing. So it's volume divergent. So that is very, very, very promising for a continued move to the upside. Okay, now we've looked at Bitcoin. Let's look at some of our favorite altcoins and see what they're doing and see if we can see similar movements in price action. All right, so let's start out with Revain. In Revain, we can see a retracement that has already gone the distance, perhaps, okay? So taking this to be our initial break of structure, it looks as if we have indeed hit the 786, or close to the 786 of this initial break of structure. So it may be that some altcoins complete this correction way faster than Bitcoin, and so expect them to generate their explosive moves in advance, right? And again, you can see potentially on the 4 hourly some strong bullish divergence, right? Price has been going, price has been going down quite drastically, right? However, the momentum has not gone down as drastically, right? We're still kind of hovering above the 70 in the stochastic RSI, which is a good omen for continued positive price action. So I'm anticipating, just judging by this chart and what I'm seeing here, I'm thinking what we're going to get is a big move in some of these alts way before we do in Bitcoin. And that would be consistent with what we see in Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is relatively low and it's dropping. So that means that there's a lot of money in alternative coins, alternative tokens, right? Rather than in Bitcoin. So you may see your 50, 60, 70% pump in these altcoins before Bitcoin even decides to move, right? This is what I'm seeing. Moving on to Kadena. Kadena, if we take this first pump, and this first pump in Kadena from the low of about 137 gave us about 80%, which is beautiful, okay? An 80% pump, and that retraced thus far to the 0.5, which is really promising for continuation, okay? And I think we can make out 5 waves here. So what does that mean? That means that 0.5 to 618 retracement can yield what we call a zigzag, which is a 535 correction. Guys, let me just pause for a second. If you guys are getting value, please like, share, and subscribe, right? For daily Bitcoin analysis, occasional altcoin analysis, and a weekly live stream every Tuesday at around 4 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Kadena, I'm seeing, is prepared to go. Now, you can't always say for sure because, these B waves are tricky. We don't always know what they're going to look like, right? They can look like a number of things. This may be A of B. This may be A of B. This may be B of B. There may be one leg down. Okay, so we don't really know. But hourly time frame, we're oversold. Hourly time frame on the Cascar side, we're oversold. 4 hourly time frame, we're overbought, but it is crossing bullish. We have volume divergence. Once again, as price is going down, volume is going down. That's positive for bulls. And we see many nice hammer candles, right? Denoting bullish momentum, right? Strong wicking to the downside, strong buying pressure. So this to me, just from a classical technical analysis perspective, looks like a bull flag, right, in Kadena. I don't know if you guys see that as well. I'm seeing, right, a bull flag, an impulse followed by consolidation, right? That's my flag pull. That's my flag. So my continuation, I'm anticipating it. Let's see. A continuation like this, right? From the point of breakout, usually breaks out towards the last bit, towards the apex, right? So for Kadena, I'm anticipating the next significant resistance at about $3.63, okay? Around here, where this would take us if this were indeed a bull flag, okay? And just turning on our VPVR for a second, looks like there is, might be here, right? $3.60, something like that, okay? But that's just, again, we do these analyses on a larger time frame to plan, and on the larger time frame, we're anticipating some big moves to the upside. So again, I don't want to confuse anybody with these smaller kind of resistances to the upside. I don't really care. I'm not selling until my main targets on high time frames are reached. One of the, and you'd have to go into log to see that, but one of the easiest ways to miss out on a pump, even when you know it's coming, is to overtrade, okay? So when we say buy in May and go away, you literally have to go away. I do this daily, okay? This is a daily show. Doesn't mean I'm taking action on my trades daily. I don't know if everybody understands that. I'm already bought in, and I'm anticipating a huge move to the upside. The charts are showing as much, right? Things are playing out in that direction. I'm just going to let it go. And that's some of the hardest things to do, especially for beginning traders. So just a word to the wise, buy relatively low. You don't have to buy at the absolute lowest. I think I bought around here, actually. So I'm still underwater for Kadena, but I'm fine because my upside is massive, yeah? So that's the whole calculus. You don't have to be perfect in your entries, but use your skills in charting as part of your risk management and wait for the trade to play out, okay? I'm going to wait the weeks it takes to get to these targets and then sell, all right? So that's Kadena. Again, if you guys are getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. What do we see for Verasity, one of our other favorite altcoins? Let's go in on the 4-hourly time frame. And Verasity, much like these other altcoins, has put in a very nice move to the upside. Okay, let's go on the hourly and see if that's not a 5-wave impulse or a corrective wave. Well, they're all corrective waves given this retracement. Even if they're 5-wave structures, they're part of a zigzag, I believe. Okay, so I'm seeing 3 waves here in Verasity. Okay, so this to me is an A wave, unambiguously, right? I'm seeing 1, 2, 3. I think that's quite easy to see. So I'm anticipating Verasity do put in a minimum 786 retracement because on average, these flat corrections retrace to the 786, okay? So I'd anticipate Verasity come down to these levels before consolidating and moving back up. You know, could be that we stop in the golden pocket, but I'm anticipating the 786 retracement at a minimum, okay? But again, long term, anywhere here is a great buy. Anywhere here is a great buy. I mean, even if you bought higher, it's a great buy because again, you need to keep the larger play in mind. The larger play is that you're bought in and you can possibly go to around 17 cents. Okay, so that is a 23x from here. So anywhere, even buying here in this consolidation is a good buy in terms of risk reward. So that's Verasity. Okay, and last but not least, Cardano. Cardano is something that I bought recently. I bought as much as I could afford because as I've said before, I'm seeing Cardano as being having completed its major correction. So I don't think, unlike Verasity, that Cardano is capped, or unlike Verasity and Bitcoin, I don't think Cardano is capped by its phi ratio. Okay, so this is going to be a trade I leave in, and once Bitcoin hits its phi ratio or starts correcting into its impulse to complete its flat correction, I anticipate that Cardano, Kadena, Revain, those altcoins that have completed their main corrections are going to enter their wave 2 corrections of this initial leg up, if that makes sense. So they're going to go impulsively 5 waves up, and then that would be wave 1, and then once Bitcoin hits resistance and wants to complete its flat correction, they will enter wave 2. This is what I'm anticipating, okay? And that is, to me, makes most sense. So yeah, Cardano, like these other altcoins, put in a massive initial break of structure, this A wave, 3 waves up, okay? And that for Cardano from the low, and I actually got lucky. I actually bought a bottom. I bought around 40 cents. That doesn't always happen. It's not always necessary, but sometimes you get lucky, and you happen to be charting at the right time. So that was a 50% move to the upside. Okay, now we're getting this retracement because this was 3 waves. Again, I'm anticipating around a 786 retracement, so around the 44 cent area. Okay, and so coming down here, I think we may have some sort of retracement before continuation to the upside. And that continuation to the upside, I think, will be massive. And the next significant resistance is around $1.20. But like most of my altcoins, I'm not selling at any intermediate resistance. I'm only buying and selling on high time frames. I'm going to actually the weekly chart. Given my plan, I'm not selling until the weekly chart tops out, right? You can see I have an alert. Once we get to the top of my stochastic RSI, I'm preparing to sell. I'm not going to sell there, right, at 80. I'm going to sell around 90 or some thereabouts, but it's going to be a confluence of getting the stochastic RSI or momentum indicator on the weekly charts, right? That's proved very, very good indicator of when to sell on a high time frame. And then again, this whole movement going to between the 1618 and the 2 Fibonacci extension of this one wave. Again, if this is helpful, if this is useful, please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys soon. Trade safe.